Welcome to the We Are VIP podcast. Each week, your host, Casey Hasten, Director of Recruiting at VIP, will bring you valuable insights from thought leaders, introduce you to incredible companies, and bring you tips for landing your dream job from our team of executive recruiters at VIP. And now, Casey Hasten.
Welcome to the We Are VIP podcast, a podcast devoted to adding value to your career or candidate search, brought to you by VIP. I'm your host, Casey Hasten. I'm an executive recruiter, director of recruiting with VIP, and your all-around hiring guru. And you know it is my favorite thing in the world to bring you amazing guests, whether it's to give you tips and advice on your career or to show you why you might want to work for a company. And so today we are going to do a company spotlight. So let me introduce Carlos Vaz, co-founder and CEO of the CONTI Organization. Carlos arrived in the U.S. in 2001 with just $300 in his pocket and a desire to make things happen. In 2004, he started his first real estate company, and just 1 year later, started his second company, the Conti Group. After developing properties and partnering with Sue, correct me later if I'm wrong on that, together, they created the CONTI Organization, which now includes more than $1 billion in assets under management. For those of you that are familiar with this term, that's huge. It's really big. It's a lot. Despite this success, Carlos remains a hands-on leader that continues to work on building the business and making it happen. Carlos, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today.
How do you feel listening to me read all that about you?
It's always humbling. I always remind myself where I came from. This is how I live my life on a daily basis. So when I wake up in the morning, I know exactly what I need to do, and wake up and go to work and keep yourselves. I think that's in life is important that you're humble, you have grit, and you always this idea of what can I learn today.
Ooh, I like that. You and I had a really great conversation the other day, and I was just like so thankful. But before we dig into anything else, okay, one of the things I like to do at the beginning of the podcast is talk about how I met someone.
Okay.
So do you want to connect the dots on how we met?
It was a friend of ours. It's I think first of all, a long time ago, we were looking to hire someone, and we had someone who was helping us who happened to know you.
Yes.
And they were connected. And then some years later, another friend of mine that is working with us a lot of the marketing piece was able to connect us again. So 2 strikes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, look at that.
Home run. So Paige Dawson is our mutual friend. She's with MPD Ventures, and she's just amazing when it comes to anything social media. She's actually been on the show.
Oh, fantastic.
Talking about branding yourself and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, she's just really fabulous. And I think it's so important, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, about the networking, which is why I want people to always be connecting dots. And one other thing I want to come back to that you said, years ago we had a mutual friend and we kind of worked together when you were hiring someone. And then circle, that was like probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes.
And then circle back today, and here you are in my life again. It's a small world, people. Be nice to everyone, okay? You never know when they're going to pop back up into your life and be an influence and a resource. So let's get on to you.
Yeah, and even on that point, it's so priceless what we just said. Something we say in the office all the time, that number one, respect has no title. Every single person you meet, respect everyone, regardless of the title, regardless of the person is, because you never know. And networking is as important as learning.
Yes, it is.
Because of networking.
Absolutely. No, you are. I have a feeling we're going to have like golden nuggets being dropped all over the place today, so I'm excited.
Thank you.
So your story as an entrepreneur, I kind of reflected on that a little bit in the intro, is just absolutely incredible. But what motivated you to make it happen and grow your company to the business it is today?
Sure. I think that in life, it's very important that you understand your why. You just don't wake up in the morning and say, listen, I'm going to become successful for some reason because I want to make money. I think that you need to have a why in life, because that's what going to drive you when I be in challenge. My why, to me, has been family. Has always been family. I'm one of 9 kids. I'm number 8 of 9.
Ooh, you didn't get much attention, did you?
No. There's the old one, there's the baby, and there's number 8. Yes. And my father was a butcher, my mom a homemaker. So we didn't have much growing up. But we have the value of family. We have the value of going to work, of staying together. So to me, that's priceless. The way I was raised is your parents are going to look after you, then eventually you look after them. So it's, to me, family was always at the core. So my why was always being family. And that's what drives me.
So golden nugget number one.
Yes.
Find your why.
Find a why.
Yeah.
I mean, find a why. Why do you want to become successful? I mean, you need to find a why. Do you want to become successful because you want to have a better life for yourselves, those that you love? Great. Do you want to become successful because you want to do charity? Do you want to help, I don't know, kids in education? You want to have a cause? Find your cause and hold yourself accountable. That's the other thing. Nothing happens if you don't hold yourself accountable. I think it's very good to work hard and have personal accountability. Be responsible,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's, if you have that why, you hold yourself accountable, and you also have responsibility, go get it. Go make it happen.
Go, go. So, okay, so tell me, I know that you have like an amazing culture. It was always so much fun to recruit for your company because it's such an easy sell. And that's what I want people to hear today as we're talking about this, is that, you know, why would someone want to go work for you? And what can others learn so that they can keep that top talent too from you? So tell me a little bit about the CONTI core values. How do they help you build a strong company culture and a profitable business at the same time?
Well, when I think about our core values is, the name says it all. It's our core. It's what defines us. When you think about integrity, excellence, pursue growth and learning, be passionate, right? Make a difference. So this is really who we are at the end of the day. So I say all the time, people are by far our greatest assets. Are by far. To have I don't believe in good employees. Either you find an excellent one, or you need 3 good employees to do the job of an excellent one. So when I look at our company, it's so crucial to have someone who understands our core values. When you hire someone, I want to understand, does this person has the character we're looking for? There's a mutual fit. Because when you hire someone, I am your biggest fan. I want to help you.
I almost felt like you were saying that straight to me just then.
That's how we are.
Yeah.
And when you come, we want to embrace you. We are our biggest fan. We want you to pursue learning and growing. We want to stand behind you. Our job is not to hold you back, and we want you to eventually become a manager and grow, become a VP, whichever role you want to become, and how can you be part of that journey together. And when you hire based on values, you're not, the way the people don't show up to work, they show up for something that they enjoy to come up to. They enjoy come to that job. When they look what they're doing, they feel excited because they know the company not only cares about them, but we also cares about everything that we do. When you look at our mission, to benefit the lives of everyone we touch.
Ooh, not to sell a bunch of property.
Not to sell a bunch of property, not to buy a bunch of property, to benefit the lives of everyone we touch.
Wow.
It's you as our team member, it's you as one of our investors, it's you as one of our vendors, it's you as one of our lenders. So anyone we do business with. So I want our team member that they understands that's who we are. We care for you, and we're here together. So it's I truly enjoy the people we have inside of our company, and I can say it's an honor that they allow me to work with them.
Wow, that's so many nuggets right there. And I want to just really pull out one of the things that we had talked about on the phone the other day, was that you're looking for those people that are always looking to grow and learn. And I myself think that is huge. I think that, if we're not learning and growing, I think we're dying.
100%.
Okay.
Blue Holtz, right?
Yeah.
Famous football coach. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Yep.
And beyond that, as part of our board, one of our board members is this Harvard professor. He does a lot of study in leadership. So they did this long research showing that today, based on the speed of things, really the amount of information you have, every year your intellectual capacity decreases in 20%.
Oof.
So let's say you got a degree and you don't do anything for 5 years. What happens to you? You are obsolete.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter, just going to school today doesn't mean anything. You need to be constantly learning and growing, reading more, listen to good podcasts.
Yes,
listen to good podcasts, getting a book, taking courses, and network. It's very important. You cannot, no person is an island.
Yeah.
And that's something that when we are hiring, we want to make sure that the person has that fire in his or her belly. Hey, is this person is a learner? Awesome. If you're thinking that you know it all, we're not a company for you.
Exactly. And so if I remember correctly, you have around 250 employees right now. And I know you're looking for those values, but what else do you look for when you're hiring, and how do you identify if they have the same values as you?
It's always a challenge.
Yeah.
I think number one, you hire people based on their values than on their knowledge, right? Because it's always going to get to a point that you're going to have to make a decision that nobody's watching.
Yeah.
And when you're making the right decisions and you want to make the good decisions. We want our people to never hesitate when to make the good decisions. So our job is we always trying to analyze some things that you're learning, right? That you're seeing. We're going to interview based your interest in learning. What's your empathy? We're going to have some questions that they're going to ask, how do you play with others? That's important because nobody wants to have the most knowledgeable person in the room that doesn't get along with anyone. That's horrible, right? It doesn't matter. I don't care how smart you are. And one thing I don't believe in rock stars either. Oh, we're going to have a rock star employee. No, any good rock star, you belong to a band.
Whoa.
So if you need to be, if you want to become good, it's okay. If you want to become excellence, join a band, join a good company, join a great company that's going to support you. I think that's the type of things that you're looking at when you're talking to someone to join our company.
I just thought of something we'll have to share after the podcast about that. Remind me of the rock star in the company.
Yes.
So, because that's amazing. So, and you mentioned this earlier, but I want to just bring this back up because I think it's worth saying twice, talking about, I know the Conti website says, just like what you just said, the greatest asset a company can have is its people.
Yes.
And I love that you say that because I think that's so important. How does your healthy company culture help you retain your talent? So you found your talent.
Yes.
And you know that they're your greatest asset. How do you retain them? How does that help?
How do we retain that? I think that we do so many things, but a couple of things we do. Every quarter, you're going to see it with our people. Each manager going to see it with their respective team members. And we're going to take a look at the quarter. We're not looking at the quarter as a performance of the quarter, what you achieve or not. You're going to get, your evaluation is going to be based on how did you live the last 3 months, our core values. You're going to get a score based on our core values the last 3 months. At each quarter, the evaluation you have is on your values, right? So when you say integrity, are you being, or excellence, what have you done for the last 3 months that shows excellence? Is that a plus, a minus, or a plus minus? So that's something really important for us to understand our people. And your feedback is important to us. When you come there, you're going to talk to myself or you're going to talk to your manager. By the way, every meeting that we have, I always tell our people, my door is always open. You do not need to, I cannot talk to Carlos or founder or whichever CEO. No. If you want to talk to me, just send me a message, Carlos. I can have a coffee anytime.
Wow.
It's always open because it's important.
Yeah.
I believe in have a flat organization that we all move in the same direction. It's not because the last thing that you need to have in your mind is that build a company, put the CEO on the pedestal. That's not the point. Our point being an effective CEO is to help people to achieve their greatness. Our job, my job, is to help anyone we hire to become a leader that eventually can train another leader, that eventually can train another leader. Then I say, yes, mission accomplished. So I think that the way we listen to our people, and it's very important to listen to understand, not to respond. That's really, really important.
I feel like I need to be taking notes.
But it's that's who we are. We're talking to our people like charity. We do a lot of charity. So if you have a charity that you like, and you say, listen, I think next quarter or this coming year, we need to all go towards do something for this charity. Speak up. Make a case from that one. Maybe someone more in the company, or maybe the whole company is going to come and help with that cause. So there's a lot of things that's important to always be listening, and I would say effective listening.
Yes. We also call it active listening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just subjective listening. And something you just said just gave me a little aha moment, and this is probably exactly what you intended to have happen. But you mentioned earlier your why was your family.
Yes.
And as I hear you talking about your company, that's your family too.
Oh, and hands down, I think that's it's interesting how God has an interesting way of working for our life. And when I was young, right, my family is myself, my parents, and my brothers, right? Then I got married, my wife, my kids, and have the company. I believe that all our employees are part of my family. I think that I have an obligation. I think that it's really an honor for us when someone joins our company. I say, awesome, because there's an alignment, right? So I see them as family members. That's how I see my everybody that comes and part of the Conti. That's why I say Conti family. By the way, do you know where Conti comes from?
I do, but I'm going to let you say it because
that's my mom's last name. And it was like Conti. So listen, it's my mom's last name. I think it says it all.
Yeah.
I think that mom was always right? Always do the right things. I mean, just do the best we can. Those values are timeless. So I see our people, they're really part of our family. And it's an honor to work together. And as a family, we need to have alignment. And let's make it happen.
That is so amazing. I mean, can I work for you?
If you pass the process, of course you can.
Well, speaking of the process, is there an assessment that you use in your hiring process?
Oh, we do a lot of assessments. We love assessments. We do a lot of, I think, personnel assessment. I believe in personnel assessment.
Okay.
I don't believe that you're going to find you're not going to find a tool that is going to describe exactly who the person is.
Right.
I don't believe in that. At the same point, I don't believe you're going to take any course that you're going to learn something that's going to change your life in 50%. But I do believe that you are small increments in your life. You're going to listen to something, you're going to learn something you have that's 0.2. But now talk about going back here to assessments. We have a personnel assessment. We do a lot of culture index. I think they do an amazing job. People can use whichever one they like. That's the one. If it's us, we like that a lot. So personnel assessment is part of our process. Then you're going to typically you're going to have anywhere between 15 to 20 interviews. That's going to based on our core values. And that's going to be part of assessment.
How many interviews?
No, 15 to 20 questions.
Oh, I thought you were saying
No, not interviews.
Like,
sorry. No, 15 to 20 questions.
Okay.
That's going to be part of our interview process. But our interview process probably going to have anywhere between 3 to 5 interviews.
I completely agree with that number.
And interviews typically happens many times. You're going to have, depends on the role, but you're going to have 2 people interviewing at the same time. I like when I have 2 people interviewing because different perspectives.
Yep.
And that's important that they share their perspective. When all the interviews are done, we're going to be debating about the candidate, the person, before we invite the person to have come for work for a day, see if the person likes. I think that's important to see to see what we do in a day. But before you do that one, we're all going to go to our meeting room, and you're going to evaluate the person based on our core values. Do you think this person is a plus minus or a minus?
Gotcha.
So it's all driven by core values. That's our DNA.
I love it. So now you have your great talent. How do you keep them motivated?
Like I said, listen to them, making sure that you have the right compensation, making sure that...
very important.
It's important. I think, of course, money matters. Of course, money matters. But at the same time, significance matters too.
Absolutely.
It's not about money, and you're working for someone who doesn't respect you. You're in a job that you don't see what am I doing here, that you're not adding value to anything.
Yes.
So I think that there's a financial reward that's important. There's the personal reward.
Yeah.
Is the company is able to listen to that employee, to that team member? Okay, if the company is able to listen to that person, what are you doing about it? So if you tell me, hey, I would like to go and get my MBA, fantastic. Can we help you pay for your MBA? Maybe do over the weekend, but we want to be part of your journey of growing. So that's something important to us. Like I said, compensation is important. I believe that we live in a day and age that's also having a community impact is important, right? What are you doing beyond just, if you truly benefit the lives of everyone we touch, what else are you doing about it? So I think all that helps to our people to get motivated. Also, when I say the word motivation, it's a very tricky word, because if you need to be motivating everybody, every person, every time, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So it's very important that you know personal accountability.
But I think what you just said, as far as motivation, like by you offering those things, like number one, you said that learning is important to you, and you just proved that by saying, hey, let us help you pay for your MBA. So you are truly living your core values to the core. But I think that, we all have a responsibility to step up to the plate, because you're not going to say, hey, Casey, you should go get your MBA.
Yes.
It needs to be the other way around. My motivation is, hey, I want to go get my MBA. Can you help me pay for it? So, but the motivation is there because you're available to help pay for it.
Completely. I think that's important to understand. Why do you want that learn and grow? Where do you see yourselves? So whenever we're talking, we have an annual review for our people. It's important to say, where do you see yourselves 1 year, 2 years from now? How can we help you to get there? So that alignment to us is very, very important. But you need to want that one. Yeah, that's the whole idea, right? You can bring the horse to the water, but you can never make the horse drink the water. So if you don't want him to drink the water, there's nothing we can do for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love to tell this story that, in my company, what I was signed on to do, and they asked me, they said, what do you want to do? And I told them exactly what I wanted to do. This is 2.5 years later. I'm doing none of that.
Yeah.
Complete pivot. And they just went, okay, go try that, so supportive. And it has allowed me to grow as a person.
Yes.
And to shine just to be my best self. And in doing that, I'm able to give back to others even more and more fully.
Exactly. I think that another point that's really important to how to retain your people, mainly the situation we're dealing currently, right?
Yeah.
The virus and all the struggle many people are facing. Transparency.
Oh.
Transparency,
yes.
For any relevant company, transparency is fundamental. I think that we have an obligation to see to your team, tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yep.
You have to talk to them. You need to see them as grown-ups. And you say, listen, these are the pains that we're facing as a company. We're expecting X amount of revenue, and that's not happening. This is how we're going to overcome it together. I cannot do it by myself, but if we're coming together, we can overcome. Again, our people are by far our greatest asset. When you're hit by the virus, I was so impressed by our people, because everybody was more like, all hands on board, let's come together, how can we help? The company split in half was defense, half was offense, and let's go. We didn't have to do a single layoff.
Wow.
We didn't have a single pay cut. We opened 2 new offices. We created a new division, and the growth of this year is going to be, knock on wood, 50% greater than our expected before the beginning of the year. Why? People, company culture are really, really the core of everything. And the opposite is true. If people is your greatest asset, what's your greatest loss? losing people, losing a good person, losing a very good. I think that any company right there, if you have good people working for you, keep them. Find a way. I mean, you need those people there.
Absolutely. And we're kind of starting to run out of time, believe it or not, but I want to touch on another topic I know you're passionate about, and that's networking. I know you've recently, I want to make sure I get this right, so you recently joined, or you have been working with the Young Presidents Organization and the Harvard Club of Dallas.
Yes.
So what advice can you share with our audience to become better networkers?
I have been involved for YPO for a long time. Joined the board of the Harvard Club of Dallas. I mean, I think network is really important. Amazes me when you're meeting people, right? You're gonna meet, in my life, I believe that you're gonna meet three types of people. You're gonna meet some people that they know much more than you can learn from. You're going to learn people that they know perhaps at the same level you do. You can exchange some ideas. I'm doing this. And you're going to meet people that they know less than you do, and you need to be able to teach.
Yes.
You need to have these three types of skills. And there's a great book, right? Never Eat Alone.
Oh, yeah.
Never eat alone. I mean, always be meeting someone, because you never know. If there's one certainty of life, you never know where the next day is going to be.
Exactly.
So when you're meeting someone, I always say to myself, always come prepared, have something, and ask about the person. How can I help you? Or you never know where that relationship is going to take you. So I think network is crucial, to the point that it's part of your DNA inside of the company, right? How I can help our own people inside of my own kind of our team to go and network more. It's fundamental. I think that I can say perhaps more than 25% of what I know today in terms of constant learn and grow comes from network.
I am a huge fan of networking. Sometimes I get referred to as the networking ninja, so I accept that. And I've recently joined a networking group. It's virtual and it's all across the world, but I was fortunate to be one of the founding members with this group,
Nice.
And it's based on the philosophy of give and take.
Yes.
Because so often people, like I can tell you and me, I mean, you just want to give, but you cannot deny others the right to give back to you. So you got to take sometimes too. So that's the whole philosophy of this. And I've met some amazing people through this network, some of whom have been guests on the podcast already.
I think network is priceless, right? I mean, if it's could be for business, for personal development. For more charity causes. I cannot say enough how important is network in my life.
But it needs to be authentic. Would you agree?
100%. I think everything, not only network, but everything you do in your life, if you're not who you are, don't do it.
Thank you.
It's everything you touch in your life. If you cannot be genuine, and you were talking about kind of your company, kind of VIP, and look at, if you're not genuine as an employer when you're interviewing someone, please don't hire that person.
Yeah.
It's your obligation to be genuine when you're interviewing someone. I think everything you do in life, you must go above and beyond. You need to be genuine. And genuine in my life, it's like integrity. You don't wake up in the morning, today I'm going to be more genuine than I was yesterday, or I'm going to have more integrity. It's a flat line. You must keep it constant all the time.
I agree. 100. You and I should be best friends. I can already tell. So, before we get to our VIP questions, I've got to ask you this other question.
Of course.
I just have to, because I'm so curious. But at Conti, you've really set the standard that there's always room to improve. We've talked about that quite a bit. So, that being said, what's next for Conti?
Actually, it's true. It's my partner and I, and always talk. I think we're in a baby steps. I think what Conti is about to become, or now that we see, I think that the 13 years that we have the company was just a really a warm-up. Getting ourselves ready to, I'm very, very thankful for the people we have, the relationships we have. Again, benefits the lives of everyone we touch. I couldn't be happier for the company. We are in the process to looking to open other funds. We're very thankful to relationship we have with our lenders. I think we're going to do even more business coming. I think there's a very good chance we're going to be expanding beyond Texas. We're going to have a footprint more on a U.S. base. That's going to be coming. And not only that, but what makes me really proud, not only the company's success, the professional success, the financial that comes, everything, but our social impact. It makes me really proud. One of the things that we did this year was the first time we also have an international financial impact, keeping over 1,000 kids in school.
Oh.
So that really, it's part of my why, right? Mm-hmm. So when I look at that education and what we can do through the company, it makes me really excited. So I'm very thankful to the U.S. This is a blessed country. I always have a huge debt to this country. It's important for my company to give it back. It's important for us to give back to Texas. It's important to help Dallas, the cities we're in. So what gets me very excited is I think we're in just really in the beginning of our growth, and we're going to have a much greater social impact as well.
I tell you what, I mean, I'm sitting here right now and I'm just like, where do I sign up? You know, I just want to come help because your passion is so infectious. I want to support Conti and help you guys in any way that we can. So thank you for sharing so much about what makes a company great and why you get to keep your talent and just everything that you've done. So, but just in case you're wondering,
yes,
nobody gets out of here without answering the VIP questions.
No worries. Okay. My pleasure.
Okay. So my first question is, if you were one of the first colonists on Mars, what 3 things or people would you take with you?
That's interesting. I think that people, I would say, I have been blessed. I'm thinking about 3 people in my mind, right? One is one of my sisters that we get along extremely well, and we always have been our whole life.
What number was she?
I'm number 8, she's number 5.
Okay.
Of the whole pack.
Just curious.
Yeah, that's good. She was older. She's the one that you have to keep studying. She was the one I always hit my head. But
kind of like second mom.
Yeah, for good reasons, yeah. and I give her a lot of credit. So she'll be there. I have to say my wife. God was so kind to me, gave an unbelievable wife that empowers me to become the man I am. So I need to honor her. So I'm quite sure, and we'll make it happen. People will get there. We're going to find some things done, and I have to say my business partner Stuart too. I think that the 3 of us there and put, all right, guys, how can you build some multifamily here in Mars? All right, hey, Stuart, I'll go this year. I can talk to my wife, can help her here, and we'll make it happen for sure.
Elon Musk, call him.
Yes.
Okay, so what is one thing you do each morning to set your day up for success?
I think I keep life simple. I think one thing that I do every day, I cannot start my day without reading a proverb. Isn't that interesting that you have 31 proverbs and there's 31 days?
It's very interesting.
I don't believe in coincidence on that point. And if you read them and you read them again, it might sound redundant, but the teaching, the wisdom you have from that, and if you live your life based on that, is priceless. So that's one simple thing that I always do. The other thing that, although I has been travel more, but if I'm home, it means the world to me to have breakfast with my kids. My kids are 7, 5, and 9 months. So I have a little girl. It's amazing.
And you're surprisingly awake.
It makes the power that I get. Just look at their face, because it's a huge accomplishment to look at their little eyes, but it's a huge responsibility, that burden that comes, and I embrace that so vividly. So that's me.
I love that. I love that a lot. Now I want to meet the little baby. So if your life's work was being summarized in a news article,
okay,
what would the headline be?
Make it happen.
Of course it would.
Make it happen. That's
so
it.
Simple.
It's simple. Life to me is make it happen. I mean, not make it happen. It's make it happen in all the ways. Make it happen in business. Make it happen personally. Just make it happen.
Make it happen. I love it. How do people find more information about you and CONTI Organization? And
You can find me on LinkedIn, Carlos Vaz. You can. Our website is contiorg.com. We're there as well. So that's easy.
That's easy. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Carlos. This has been so exciting. Yes. And I just have one last thing to say to you.
Of course, yes.
You are a VIP.
Oh, thank you.
And that's a wrap for today. Join us next week here on the We Are VIP podcast. We'd love to know how we can help you be a VIP. To find out more, log on to wearevip.com.